نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Alhamdulillah, this is our second strand to this project that we're doing with Al-Hira Academy U.K, whereby we've started the tafseer of the Quran, and initially we'll start off with Surah Fatiha and then we'll move on to the rest of the surah, probably Surah Yasin or Surah Rahman, something that every Muslim kind of reads on a daily basis. Now Quran, alhamdulillah, we're so lucky to have, we're so fortunate to have this book as guidance, Hudan lil Muttaqeen, as guidance for us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's really an ocean, as we say in Arabic, Bahrun la sahila laha, that it is an ocean with no banks or with no, it's an endless treasure of knowledge. And there's so much to learn from the Quran, and alhamdulillah, this is the intention that we endeavor to do our best so that the Muslim Ummah benefit from the treasure of Quran, from the knowledge of the Quran. And a lot of people, a lot of youngsters, we see it at the mosque, we see it in our society, they are really attracted to these new things that have come about, such as arrivals or reloaded or all these other things which talk about these miraculous things, or these different about Dajjal and about all these other things, whereby the Muslim youth seem to be very attracted to these things. What we fail to understand and what we fail to realize, I've got nothing against arrivals or I've got my own opinion about these things. However, I will not delve into that at the moment. But what we fail to understand, that we are fundamentally very, very weak. Our fundamentals, we've got the biggest miracle, subhanAllah, the Quran, the biggest miracle that has ever come to this world. This was the biggest miracle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every word that was revealed unto Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is as it was then, is with us today. So, subhanallah, such a miracle. Something that has stayed on for such a long time, untouched, undistorted. So, something that we as Muslims have to realize, that we have to understand our fundamentals, we have to understand our true sources of knowledge, and then inshallah everything will fall in place. You'll understand everything, but as long as your fundamentals are right. And a lot of the people that we see, they don't know Surah Fatiha, they don't know the meaning of Surah Fatiha, they don't know other surahs, they don't know how to pray Quran with tajweed, and yet they go into these things. And I'm not against seeking knowledge, don't get me wrong, it's good to seek knowledge. However, do it tadrijan, do it in a systematic manner. Know your fundamentals first. There are people who start debating about Islam yet have no knowledge about Islam. So that is not the right way of going about things. Let's do this tadrijan, let's study systematically, let's understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is conveyed to us. Let's understand the message, let's understand Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's why a lot of the ulama do emphasize that before studying tafsir, before studying anything, you should always understand Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, understand the messenger, understand Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then understand the message. Because once you value the messenger, you'll value the message. So inshallah, we are hoping to start another strand to this project, which is Seerah. We will inform our viewers soon about that. However, regarding this tafsir and regarding this greatest miracle that I've talked about, we need to understand this. We need to understand this so that our salah becomes better, so that our other a'mal, our other actions become better, and at the end of the day, so that we please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the intention, and that is the crux of everything. That is, everything that we do is to worship and is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, there are a lot of ways we can study this Quran, how we can understand this Quran. We are fortunate enough that knowledge is a click away nowadays. Knowledge, we have all the books of tafsir on the internet, we have it in the libraries, we have all the books available. You ask those people before us, who's traveled for months just to listen to one hadith, just to listen to one ayah, just to understand this religion. They used to do hijrah just to understand this religion. They used to, sell everything they had just to travel to understand this religion. Ask those people how they valued religion. And sometimes this is the disadvantage of having so many, options available, or having everything on a plate for us. And this is the disadvantage, that we don't value deen, we don't value this knowledge. Because if we were in that time, we would have valued this knowledge. So now we've got everything available, yet we don't see scholars like Imam Bukhari, we don't see scholars like Imam Abu Hanifa, Malik, Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahumullah, all of them, we don't see such scholars. Why? The reason is we don't value this deen. Alhamdulillah, we've still got good scholars that we can learn a lot from, even though scholars are not valued by us. So it's very, very important to realize and to sit down and think that what we need to do to better ourselves. And the thing that we need to do is to value this knowledge, value deen, value scholars, value ilm. It's very important to do that. And inshallah, that will help and enable us to understand our deen better. Now, inshallah, the tafsir that we'll be doing, there are some major points of reference that I'll be using. Tafsir of Ahkam al-Quran of Imam Qurtubi, Ma'arif al-Quran of Sheikh Idris al-Kandalwi, and we also have Jalalain and Baydawi, and Tafsir of Ibn Kathir, the famous tafsir. So these will be, most of what I'll be talking about will be from these tafsir, inshallah. When you do tafsir, there are a few ways of doing tafsir. There are a few ways how you understand an ayah. The best way of tafsir is tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran. The other point of reference I forgot to mention was Adwa al-Bayan, which is by Sheikh Shinqiti. He's written a very concise tafsir, and he has written a tafsir of Quran with Quran. What that means is sometimes something is mentioned in the Quran that is explained in some other verse. Like about the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we have revealed it in Laylatul Mubarakah, that in a blessed night. And then you ask the question, which is the blessed night? And then in Surah Qadr we find out it's the night of Qadr, inna anzalnahu fi laylatil Qadr. So this is called tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran. Then we have tafsir by Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam of the ayat. Like we have غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has done the tafsir of this ayah. In the ahadith we find it that this is referring to the Jews and the Christians. So this is the second best way of doing tafsir. First way is doing tafsir of Quran bil Quran. If you can't find the answer there, then you refer to the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then you refer to the explanation or the understanding or the ahadith or the athar of Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. For example, there's a verse in the Quran, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. Hazrat Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu was a young boy, and he was still very, very knowledgeable. And Umar radiallahu anhu, in his dawr of Khilafah, in his era of Khilafah, he used to make him sit beside him. with all the elders of the communities to make this young boy sit beside them. And a lot of the Sahaba felt, why, we've got sons as well. Then why is Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, why is Ibn Abbas sitting with Umar radiallahu anhu? Then Umar radiallahu anhu, to showcase or to tell people about to inform people about the caliber of this young boy, the knowledge he had of tafsir, he was known as the mufassir amongst the Sahaba. He once asked the question to the Sahaba that what do you understand from this verse? إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. So a lot of the Sahaba said it's referring to the Nasr, it's referring to the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the conquest of Makkah, etc. And then he asked Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, what do you understand from this ayah? And he said it indicates towards the departure or the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So subhanallah, look at, one would, from the literal translation of this ayah, you would never ever think of this, and it was indicating to the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this is the third, way you do tafsir of the Quran.